living La Vida low carb. This show is changing lives. We talking about your diet, trying to get you feeling right. Cut up them avocados, fry some eggs, time to explore the longest running health podcast, hosted by Jimmy Moore. Time to give up the crappy garbage, we're getting into ketosis. Every day is a new step to your goal, yeah, you're getting closer. Motivated and focused, don't stop, just go. Time to get inspiration from the Living La Vida Low Carb Show. Hey, the livinglowcarbshow.com.
Really wanted to talk about this subject a little more than just in a post. So if you follow my work, you know today I wrote a whole post all about dealing with anxiety. I've wanted to talk about this for a little while, and for all the obvious reasons, I was a little bit reticent about sharing about it. But I'm not scared to talk about things that are supposedly taboo. And unfortunately, people dealing with anxiety is taboo in our culture. And so I wanted to put a name and a face to it so you guys could see what I do to try to deal and properly manage some of that anxiety. So come on in, guys. Thank you for being here. I am at my house here in South Carolina. And today we're actually going to be recording a podcast that will be airing on the Living La Vida Low Carb Show next week. So I wanted to go live for you guys so you can engage in it as I'm showing you all the things that I do to manage stress and manage anxiety. But if you did not read my posts that I put out on social media today, I have been dealing with some pretty significant anxiety in my life. And I think for the longest time, I denied it just because I don't really get too overwhelmed to the point that it's debilitating for me, that I can't function. And so I never really recognized it as the anxiety that it is. But I think there are a lot more people who are highly functioning people dealing with anxiety than any of us want to admit. I think sometimes when we hear anxiety, we think people that have gone off the cuckoo's nest and don't really handle it very well. And I think there's a lot of us that we not only handle it well, it's become so a part of our lives, we don't even recognize it as anxiety. And I think I fall into that category. And so maybe some of what I'll share here today will resonate with you. I can tell you, and I definitely want to do a lot more posts in the coming weeks where I talk about what does this look like on the day-to-day when anxiety hits. Now, it's not constant. Right now, I'm in a pretty good mental state. And this is the other thing. There's such a stigma to talking about anxiety because people just think you're crazy. Now, Jimmy Moore is crazy, so I'm cool with that. You can call me crazy all you want. But I think we should all acknowledge that life can be hard. And for all of us, the last year and a half has been super hard because of the events going on in the world. But that's assuming you had no other things going on in your life. And I think there are a lot of people who had life stuff, and then all of the things of the past year and a half are on top of the life stuff. And I've been very open about the last 2 years of my life, probably being some of the most traumatic and difficult, stressful of my entire life. And so I wanted to come on here today, you guys, to share some of the things that I do as regular practices that help me deal with stress and deal with the anxiety. So I'm going to walk out into my backyard. And so you guys know from previous videos and things that I do, I've got chickens back here. And there is a little bit of a gentleness of de-stressing that comes from hanging with my chickens. So there's a few of them over there. And so I, first of all, and I'm going to show you down here, I kick off my shoes and I let my feet go into the ground. All right. So I've got my feet there firmly in the ground. And that is this thing called grounding. So if you've never heard of grounding before, go look it up. I remember many years ago, there was this book called Grounding, and I interviewed them on the Living La Vida Low Carb Show. This is, 12, 13 years ago. And I remember this guy was talking about there's a certain energy, there's a certain reviving factor of letting your feet hit the earth. And of course, back then, I was not as savvy at some of the non-nutrition stuff as I am now. And I thought it was kind of wacky. I'm like, what do you mean you're Grounding. What is it? What? But it's a thing, guys. And it definitely, like, you can feel the energy when you are standing barefoot in the ground. And then I've got this beautiful grass back here. I might be stepping in a little bit of chicken shit, and that's okay. But I'm also, at the same time, getting sunshine. And I think sunshine is the most devalued vitamin that we should be getting in our life. I feel like if you're not getting sun at least for about 10 to 15 minutes a day, preferably more, preferably at different times of the day. I think I've talked about this before, that when you stand in the sun, you get obviously the vitamin D production. If I was not on camera, I would be probably naked, letting it get my full body, which really produces a lot of vitamin D. But just the sun in and of itself has such a positive effect on your brain health that it's something I do as a regular practice. And like I said, at various times of the day, letting that sun. So it's right at noontime. I had sun this morning, right as the sun was coming up around 7:30. It's now noontime. I'm getting that angle of the sun. About 4, it will be right there, up there, and let it hit that part of the sun. And then as it's setting, so you got 4 different times of the day that the sun will go into the eyeball. Not obviously looking right at it, but letting the sun hit the eyeball. And that sets your circadian rhythm. And I get pretty damn good sleep, so I think it pays off to do that as a regular practice. And so that's something I do. So even just standing out here for the few minutes I've been talking to you, I can feel energy coming up from the ground, from grounding and getting that sunshine. And my friend Autumn says I intentionally get sun every single day. It works. It really does. And especially when it hits the head. You know, I think any part of the body that it hits, it's great. But if you're dealing with things like anxiety and other kind of, getting depression, blah, feeling, this is one way to revive yourself, is to stand out in the sun. So I could definitely sit here and bask in the glory of sun and grounding, but I'm going to put my shoes back on and we're going to step over here into my building so you can see some of the things that I do. So if you joined us late, I am showing you a lot of the various things that I do as practices to help deal with anxiety. And I feel there's a lot of people that deal with anxiety and just don't have any way to deal with it. So right here is what I do every single day. I've got a nice little hot tub and I'll pop in there early in the mornings. You guys that follow me know that I post at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And so I'm usually writing those posts in there. That is a great way to kind of start the day for me. Puts me in a good chill mood. So there's so many things I'm going to show you here. Let's start over here in my infrared sauna. So I'm going to go inside of the sauna and it's already nice and toasty in here, all ready to go. And I got the red glow thing going. I'm not going to stay in here long because my phone will overheat, but you get the idea. You can come in here, and I know I've got the luxury of having a sauna at my house, but there are plenty of gyms and other places where you can go and do some infrared sauna therapy, and I highly recommend it. I usually try to keep mine in like the 130s for the temperature. I started it warming up about an hour ago, and it's at 115, so it's not quite at the temp that I would normally be, but I'll stay in here probably 20 minutes. And while you're in here, you will find that your blood pressure will lower. I've been wearing continuous glucose monitors while in here at times, and my blood sugar goes down as well. And so you're naturally relaxing the body. And if the body is relaxed, it's almost impossible for you to be anxious. It's impossible for you to be stressed. And all those thoughts that kind of lead you down those rabbit holes of becoming anxious and becoming stressed and overwhelmed and all the things, they disappear. They really do. And I'm starting to get a little bit of beads of sweat going on, so that's good. That's what you want when you come into an infrared sauna. And this is a great practice for anybody that deals with anxiety. So I'm going to pop this off and get out of here. Number one, it's getting hot and I'm afraid my phone will get overheated. If I stand there too long, the phone will get overheated. All right, so another practice that I do, and again, I hope you're enjoying this. This is all the little things Jimmy Moore does to deal with anxiety and stress. So I'm in a massage chair, and I've got my little settings here. And, you know, it's one of these whole body kind of massagers. And so I set all the settings, turn on a little heat for the bottom, kind of gets it toasty there, and sit back and just relax and chill. Like, I think some of these things are so underrated. And I don't think we take enough time for self-care, which is why Jimmy has invested in buying all of these things for home, as you can afford them in your budget. I built these things up for many years till I could get them. And so I use them and utilize them on the regular just because they work. And they give me an ability that if in the midst of having an anxious moment, I don't know that I necessarily have anxiety attacks. It just, when I start getting anxious, it's relentless. And so I start doing all these things I'm showing you here today, and it's great. Like, this here is giving me a full body massage. Sometimes I will be anxious like towards bedtime, and so getting in this thing for half an hour really, really kind of puts me in a relaxed state so that I can sleep well. I could definitely stay in my massage chair for a long time. I'm going to pop out of here, but you get the idea. If you can get one of these, it would be great. Now, this particular massage chair I bought at Costco. I want to say it was about $5,000, but they have cheaper models. This was one of the nicer models, and so if you're gonna get something like this, try to go big, go home. As far as the infrared sauna that I showed you, this one I also got at Costco. I want to say it was around like $1,600, but again, there are cheaper models that can fit your budget. All right, so let's come to the next thing, and this is one of the cooler things that I have, and it's for the lymphatic system. So if you're not familiar with the lymph, I'm going to show you something else here in a minute that will move the lymph as well. But this here is a vibration plate. So I have to thank my buddy Dave Asprey, the guy that did the bulletproof coffee and everything. He sells these things, and he sold this at cost to me. I want to say it retails at about $1,500 to $2,000, this particular one. But again, search around. It's called a vibration plate. And so I've got this little knob over here. I can turn it on, and I love this thing. And I had to get used to it at first because it literally jiggles your eyeballs and your nose and the ear. And oh, it's wicked. And I know my voice sounds funny. Hello, Earthlings. I am here to take over the world. Give me everything. Yeah, that would be weird. But yes, shaking the body gets the lymph moving. And there's just something about some of that pent-up energy within you that needs to be released. And when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're depressed, all of that stagnation within your body needs to be released. And this is one of the ways that I do it. I'm going to show you something else I do here in a minute that's really, really cool that also helps to move that lymph and to provide some of this same kind of benefit. Okay, my ears are starting to do that little jiggle wiggle thing, so I'm going to turn this thing off. Whew. Okay. If you joined us late, welcome. I am showing everyone around of all the things that I do here at my home that help me deal with the stresses of life, with the anxiety that I know I've been dealing with for a long time. And so I wanted to share kind of what I'm doing so you can maybe pick up a few things that maybe you didn't know. All right, so since I just showed you the vibration plate for the lymph, I want to show you this. This is like the poor man's vibration plate. And you might be like, Jimmy, that's just a brush. Oh yeah, it's just a brush, but it's the stiff brush. So if you get a brush, you could probably get it like Walgreens, Walmart, whatever. Get a stiff brush. This is hard bristles, okay? So it's really hard bristles. And what you're going to do is dry brush your skin. So I'm just showing you briefly here on the arm how I dry brush. And I literally dry brush every single day, my entire body, probably multiple times a day I do this, just so you can see the feeling that it does. And so it releases endorphins. I'll show you here on my leg. So I will dry brush. And you might think, okay, what's that doing? Trust me, until you do this and you feel it, especially if you deal with any kind of chronic pain. I've got a little bit of a pain in my lower right-hand side of my back, and I will dry brush the low back down through the glutes, and it just provides so much pain relief. And I think a lot of times irritability from pain can actually lead to stress, which then leads to anxiety. It all kind of feeds into one another. And so dry brushing is a practice that I do pretty often. And I also have all these little like massagers. By the way, that brush is probably like $3, $2-3. I have these massagers. This is one, it's called the Pure Way, but you can get any massager. And same thing, just kind of relax your shoulders, really any part of your body that you feel tension in. This is something that I do on the regular as well. I probably have 3 different kinds of massagers. I'll show you one here in a minute that's my favorite, and I actually put it directly on my head. You'll see why here in a minute, but this is just glorious. Now, this little magic wand thing, I think you can get it, the Pure Wave, on Amazon, like $75. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it's really cool. My favorite one's the one I got from my chiropractor. So this is the one that I got from my chiropractor. It's the one, if you ever go to a chiropractic clinic and they do like a little massage thing at the end. This is the original therapeutic massager is what it's called, from Med Massager. Okay, watch this. This is what I do. I know it's going to look weird, but just work with me, guys. I stick it right on top of my head. And that just, oh yeah. Those of you listening on the podcast are like, dude, that sounds weird in audio, but I'm going to just lean back. I've got this vibrating massager that I'm just rubbing all over the scalp. And what that does is obviously it turns on lots of endorphins. Oh yeah, that's nice. Lots of endorphin. Bleh. See, I'm so relaxed. I'm talking more. Lots of endorphins all throughout the body that will put you in a chill mood. So sometimes when I get a headache, this right here is what I will do. And I'll just sit there and just slowly roll it all over my head. And it's just amazing. Something so simple can actually change your mood and put you in a better state of mind. Oh, I don't want to leave this. This is nice. But I am trying to show you all the little things, so I will have to leave this. Give me about 10 more seconds. I have to bask in the glory of this. This is one of my favorite ones. Now, what happens after you do this a while is you feel your scalp kind of get warm. That's just the blood flow going there. Okay, I think that's 10 seconds. Okay. Sorry, I have to turn that one off. Funny. Yes, so that's a good one if you want to get back. I want to say I paid like $120 for that from my chiropractor. So if you got a chiropractor, you could ask them to get you one.
Hey guys, you know I'm all about healthy nutrition, and I have a brand new product I want to tell you about called Athletic Greens. This is not just a multivitamin. It has 75 essential elements that you want to have in your diet, from probiotics to greens to digestive enzymes to prebiotics. There's so many things that they pack into the Athletic Greens. The main reason why I love them is it puts it all in one place. Like literally you'd have to a la carte buy all of these different supplements, and they do it all in one package. So if you go to athleticgreens.com/Jimmy, and you can get a special discount if you go there, and the discount is you get a free 1-year supply of their vitamin D as well as some of their travel packs. Go check it out, you guys. athleticgreens.com/.
So if you're just joining us late, I am showing some of the ways that I manage stress, manage anxiety, and I talked about this today in a post. And so I wanted to show some of the practices that I use to help manage the anxiety. So another thing, I'm a big fan of essential oils and aromatherapy. I think it has a way of calming us that we don't even realize. So I found this company, I think they were originally on Shark Tank, called Boom Boom. And so they've got a variety of flavors and smells and things. I got tons of these all around. But it's basically like those little Vicks things that you stick up your nose. It's just this, except it's essential oils. And you literally stick it in a nostril and breathe in. And then stick it in the other nostril and breathe in. Now, if you want to get intense, you can stick it in a nostril and close the other one. And that's intense. But it's so relaxing. And so again, that product is called Boom Boom. There are probably other companies out there that make essential oil types of things. This one smells like berry. There's another one over here that's like wintergreen and mint. They got all kind of flavors, but check them out. I think it's something that not only does it clear your nose, but it also gives you this sense of calm. And I think essential oils are also an underused way of chilling out, relaxing, putting your body in a better state. All of these things are practices, you guys, that I implore. And while I'm here and while I'm sitting down, let me talk about one that you can do that doesn't cost you anything. And this is something that's just so powerful. I'm still buzzing from that massager on my head. Definitely do that one if you get a chance. Or if you don't have the massager, you could always just do like a head scratch massage and just kind of go all over your head and just kind of scratch. And it's just something about that scratching of the scalp that kind of puts you in a calmer mood as well. All right, so let me tell you a few other things. So if you've never heard of it before, there is this practice called tapping. Tapping is where you literally just kind of tap your fingers on various parts of your body. And so if you're trying to relax and maybe when it comes to anxiety, maybe you want to just tap your head. I know this sounds so weird and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't do anything. You want to bet? Try it. You're there right now. You're watching me on Instagram Live or you're listening on the podcast. Take your 3 fingers and just start tap, 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 and watch what happens to your mood. Watch what happens to how you feel. And this works really well, by the way, too, on any part of your body that may be experiencing pain. Just start tapping. So if you got TMJ, you could just tap around that area where the TMJ is and watch what happens. It's pretty powerful. And I think we don't utilize these simple techniques for dealing with pain, dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, all the things, stresses of life. Tapping is so powerful if you've never done it before. And by the way, look up all of these things I'm talking about here today because they're all easily Googleable. You might even be able to find a YouTube video about it. So go look them up. I'm just sharing what I do, and then you can go and run with whatever you think resonates the best with you. Another practice is called 4-7-8 breathing. So I think there are some pretty intense breathing things out there. If you know about Wim Hof, I think his is very intense. If you're not familiar with Wim Hof, his technique is kind of this really short breath in, short breath out, short breath in, short breath out. So it's like, I remember the first time I saw that, I'm getting dizzy just watching them. But it does work as well, and it's an intensive way to do it. But I found one that's not nearly as intensive that is pretty darn effective. So if you find yourself stressed, if you find yourself anxious, depressed, anything where your mood is down, try this. So it's 4-7-8. 4 stands for the number of seconds you breathe in. So you'll do that through your mouth. 7 is the number of seconds that you hold that breath. And then 8 is the number of seconds that you blow out. So let's all do that together if you want to see what this feels like. Here we go. 4 seconds in. Hold it for 7. out for 8 seconds. And that's it. And you repeat that probably 3 to 4 times. I think by the time you get to the third one, you'll know, do I need one more? Or you'll be like, nah, I'm good, bro. And it's actually a good practice right before you go to bed. I think so many people are wired to the hilt when they hit the bed, and then they wonder, why can't I get to sleep? Or if they fall asleep, why can't I stay asleep? I guarantee you, you implement some of these things I'm talking about, and definitely the 4-7-8, definitely the tapping, definitely the massage on the scalp. All of those things are going to relax you so much. I can't tell you how relaxed I am right now just showing you the things I do. And I don't do them nearly in sequential order that I'm showing you here. I probably should. That's probably a key here, is find the mix of the ones that work best for you and do those on the regular. So let's get back to some of the things that I do as it relates to chilling out. And one of the things, and again, I know I'm very fortunate that I have one of these Juve lights, and I've got the whole body one. And so if you're not familiar with Juve, it's just red light therapy. It's this thing called photobiomodulation. I know that's a big fancy schmancy term, photobiomodulation, but literally it just means you're changing through light your body. Now I'm going to turn this way. It's a little bit hard to look right at the red light, but as you can see, I've got the red light on me. And again, if I was not on camera, I would be naked and letting it hit as much of my skin as possible. And you're like, okay, what's the red light doing to you? Carnivore Shrink knows. She says she loves her red light. It is so powerful, you guys. We don't realize how much blue light we allow into our bodies. And so this red light kind of offsets that. It is literally a mood enhancer. And you want to sleep really well. Again, this is the big boy. Juve sells this big one for like $5,000. But they have smaller ones that you can use. And you could use a brand besides Juve. Juve is just the one that I have. And so red light therapy has been well known and well researched. Definitely go look it up. I did an episode of the Keto Hacking MD podcast a few years back with John Lemansky, where we talked all about red light therapy and photobiomodulation. And so if you deal with anxiety, this is a great way. And again, it doesn't even take more than like a 10 to 15 minute session right in front of it. Sometimes I'll do 10 minutes on the back and then turn around 10 minutes on the front, and that's good. And I'll do that even right before bedtime as well. Powerful to give you lots of benefits. You'll find your body calmer. What it actually does is it lowers some inflammation in the body, which I think sometimes inflammation manifesting as pain that then turns to stress, that then turns to anxiety and depression. It's the ruthless cycle, you guys. And so we go down this path of not knowing how to handle the anxiety because we're not even doing basic practices that would give us relief. And so I hope this is really interesting so far. I'm going to pop over to my other building because I think I've exhausted everything. I'm looking around if there's anything else. Ooh, I told you about the hand massagers. This is my favorite one. It's like a Theragun. What's this brand? I don't know what this brand is, but it's one I found on Amazon as well. And literally, you want to talk about targeting some area, and I will do it. And I'll turn it wide open. It's on the 6 rating, and so I'm just sitting there. I don't think we do near enough to massage the various muscles, because I don't think we realize when we're getting tense that leads to some subliminal anxiety that had you just kind of taken out some of the stress of in your body. Carnivore Shrink says she has one too. So you know this thing's badass. Oh, all right. Here's something that I will show you as I kick my dirty clothes out of the way. I don't think you want to see that. All right. This is a foam roller, and it's got really thick nodules on it. I have been using foam rollers forever. Yes, good for trigger points. That's right, Carnivore Shrink. So I've been using foam rollers forever, and so I've got a few here. I've got different styles of ones. So this one that really Kind of goes right down the spine like that, but I like the ones with the nodules on them. So I'm going to show you. Get down here. Might be a little hard to see, but I'm going to roll along my back and along. Just try to breathe as good as you can. And then I also roll over the glutes. And again, it just provides a little bit of that tension release in the body. We don't realize how many places in our body we store tension. And it's hard to be anxious if your body is relaxed. And the reason why we get anxious, the reason why we get stressed, is we let that tension build and build and build. Come here, baby. I'll show you another thing that I do to relax and chill. I got my little baby girl. Hi, baby girl. I know. Say hi to the peoples. Say hi to the peoples. Say hi, Skunky. Mwah. Animals are a great way to chill out. I know. Is it that bad? Yeah. Say hi. All right. I'm going to try to get her down without her scratching my eyeballs out. All right, let go. Let go. Let go. I can't grab you up. There you go. Okay. We were about to have a disaster with my favorite Cowboys jersey. I would not like it if you ripped my Dak Prescott Cowboys jersey. I use a Prana mat and pillow. Oh, Redeem Carnivore. That's cool. Yeah, I have another mat that I use here as well. Oh, by the way, when it comes to foam rollers, when I travel, I've got this one that lays flat. And then you pull the little things on the end and it pops open. And a former NFL football player actually came up with that because he got tired of filling up his suitcase with his foam roller. So he decided to make one out of it. I've got another. Yeah, here it is. Speaking of trigger points, carnivore shrink. This is an acupuncture mat. Now, I'm going to come up real close. You can see those are some spiky bikies right there. And I can tell you the first time I ever laid down on this bad boy, I was like, ow! But it's called, what's this company? ProSource Fit? ProSource Fit. By the way, the foam rollers can vary in size and price. So look those up on Amazon. But I'm going to lay down on this ProSource Fit so you can see Jimmy get tortured. Jimmy get a little bit of acupuncture. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, it's better than it used to be, because used to I would lay on this thing and I'd be in such immediate pain, because when you're not ready for all those little spikes in your back, it's basically acupuncture on a micro way, not a needle directly into you, but it's actually called acupressure. And so it's intense, guys. If you've never done this before, don't lay on it the first time and go, nope, that hurts, Jimmy. Screw that. Keep at it. Keep trying. Because what it does too is it also relaxes the body, and it's hitting so many trigger points in your spine. If you know anything about chiropractic, there's various points on the back, or even about massage, there's various points in the body that when you hit those, it just releases so many endorphins, so many great. I'm trying to breathe because it hurts laying on this mat. But man, it is so good. Redeem Carnivore, that's just like mine. Yes. So, again, I know this sounds weird on the podcast, but you'll get over it. Go watch the video on YouTube or on Instagram, and you'll know why I'm moaning and groaning right now. Okay, I'm gonna get up. Now, if you could see my back, it's probably got a million little holes in it from all the little things that were penetrating through my back there. But I love that thing. Guys, I am actually chilling out doing this demo of all these little toys I have. I am chilling. Okay. Oh, I do have this thing here called an inverted table. So if you've never been on an inverted table before, this is where you lie down on this little thing and watch what happens. I hope I've got it far enough away. I can't tell. Nope, it's too close, but I need to pull it out a little bit. Let me do that real quick. Pull forward. There we go. I want to show you what this is like. Whew, Jimmy, don't fall. Okay. Because this is really cool. If you've never seen one of these before and you have back issues or pain, this is kind of cool. But this is also a good relaxation thing. So I'm laying down this thing, and now we're going upside down, which is why it looks like I've got little poofy cheeks, because all my blood's going to my head now. And there's something therapeutic about hanging upside down. This is why kids know inherently when they hang from a tree that provides so much benefit. All that blood coming right up there is so good, guys. I cannot tell you how relaxed and chilled I am just doing all these things. It's amazing. I don't usually do all of them at once. I'm kind of showing you a demo of all of them. But I'm looking around, making sure I didn't leave anything out of things that I normally do. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Having a hard time reaching my goal weight.
Just use Keto Chow, the magical meal replacement that makes keto easy. Prep takes seconds. Just add the fat you want, Keto Chow, water, and shake. And before you know it, you'll be getting rid of the fat you don't want.
I did it.
I can't believe you're finally here. Oh, I thought you'd be taller.
I know, and I'm wearing...
Okay, so while I'm walking over to the other building to show you some of the last things that I do, I got to tell you one thing that really helps. I have a very strong system of friends that I connect with. And if you don't have, oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Redeemed Carnivores, the table expensive. The inverted table, I want to say that was about $120. So all of these are going to vary in price depending on the quality you get, depending on the brand you get. They're going to vary, but I think I paid $120 for that particular one. Okay, a little bit of sunshine while I'm still talking to you. So yes, I have a strong system of support with friends in my life who I know genuinely care about me. I can probably count them on one hand. And if you don't have that in your life, that when you're starting to spiral and you're starting to have feelings of anxiety and depression, get them. And I feel like we don't put in the effort to find solid friends. Now, friend doesn't just mean somebody you occasionally talk to and you're just generically talking about sports and weather and other banal topics. I'm talking about somebody that when the rubber meets the road and you're going through a crisis or you're going through anxiety and you need somebody who will be there, provide counsel to you, and vice versa. You be that to them. If you don't have those ride or die kind of friends, work on that. Work on that. I can tell you with what I've been through the last 2 years of my life, probably the most excruciating experience of my entire life, it was so invaluable to have people that I could go to. And I was really happy to have those people in my life. I'm getting attacked by bugs now, so I'm going to go inside now. But they were amazing for me. And so if you don't have those people, find those people. And it is such an invaluable part of this experience of dealing properly with the anxiety when it hits. Now, I could go into all kinds of supplements and things that I have at my disposal. I think just getting regular brain health types of supplements are so great. But I will share with you a few of the ones that I think are great for your brain health that I use. Oh, thank you, Gina. She just bought a badge. And yes, if you're here on Instagram Live, you like the information I share here, buy a badge. Definitely shows your support for the work of people that you like to follow on Instagram. And so thank you very much again, Gina, for that. I use this thing called CBD infused adaptogenic mushrooms. And so It's from a company called Santa Cruz Medicinals, which, by the way, nobody is sponsoring me today. I'm just showing you the things I actually that actually work for Jimmy and what I use. So this adaptogenic mushrooms, I have ashwagandha here somewhere as well, and that's another one that's really good for brain health. This is the newest one that I started taking thanks to my best friend, Brittany. Brittany was telling me about this Alpha Brain product, which is a memory and focus product from Onnit, but it's helped her sleep and kind of calmed her mood as well and given her more benefits. And so I've been using that along with the fast acting as well. And all of this is on Amazon. I want to say the pill version was like $79 for 90 tablets. And then the fast acting was about $45 or $50 for, 30 packets. And I take one of those a day. I think vitamin D and a good quality multivitamin, all of those things are really, really good. All right. Something else you can do that doesn't cost you a lot. Water. If you are not hydrating yourself properly, you're doing yourself a disservice. And if you're not hydrated, it can cause various reactions in the body that I don't think you want. And so making sure that you're sipping on water all day. Don't ever guzzle water because you don't want to dilute the micronutrients in your body, but you have to treat water like a nutrient, getting appropriate amounts of it. And something else that goes along with the water, and people neglect this because it's been vilified, is salt. And Redmond's real salt. I can tell you I've been in the midst of many extended fasts. I did an 18-day one a few months back. I'm due to do another long fast here soon, and I will let you know when I do that. But salt is so devalued, and it doesn't take much. You just get a little pinch, stick it underneath your tongue, just eat that up. It's so good. It tastes good, but it gives you a boost mentally. I think our brains, our bodies are so deprived of so many things that have been vilified. Think about all the ways that they have vilified the very things that we now know are very, very healthy. Yeah, Geisha says, yes, I love my bucket too. Yes, I get this bucket of the real Redmond's Real Salt on Amazon. I think it was like $50. It wasn't even that much. And it's going to last me 1,000,000 years. So, hello from Puerto Rico and Florida. Love listening to you and keep learning. You're humble to share all your experience and knowledge. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Gina, I do require more salt than that as well. I'm showing on camera just brief little bits about how I do things. All right, so speaking of things that are vilified, if you're not using a high quality butter, definitely, it doesn't have to be Kerrygold. Kerrygold just happens to be the one I love. But definitely grab you quality fat. And you might be like, well, what's that have to do with anxiety and depression? It has everything to do with it because this is the building block, the saturated fats, which, by the way, butter is usually vilified. Oh, all that saturated fat. Did you know butter is half saturated, half monounsaturated? And so I think sometimes we get overwhelmed by, oh my gosh, all that saturated fat. Same thing with red meat, by the way. It's not all saturated fat. And we need to correct that when people say, well, you have all that saturated fat. Well, I'm also getting some of the healthy monounsaturated fats along with the saturated fats. You need both. Both are essential. You don't need as many poly, but there's natural polys that come in natural fats as well. So if you're not getting good quality fats in your diet and you're trying to help your mental health, you're robbing your mental health. And anybody that's ever been on a low-fat diet, that's most of us, will tell you that when you're not eating fat, you feel it. And I remember 1999, I did a no-fat diet. And it was probably the most miserable thing I ever did, mentally speaking. I was angry all the time. I just didn't feel well mentally because your brain is 70% fat. And so if you're not feeding your body fat, how are you supposed to feed your brain well? And so I think high quality fats, if you're going to spend money on something for your body, that's going to be beneficial, that's quality, always opt for quality fats. And you can also, if you get a conventional meat, I know a lot of the people in the paleo and keto and carnivore space, if you cut off the fat, the visible fat on a conventional meat, and then you add something like grass-fed butter, that's going to give you far better nutrients, because the protein isn't really the problem when it comes to conventional meat. It's the fat. That's where all the toxins are stored. And so if you can get quality fats and then get as good a meat, good a protein sources as you can, that's the way to do it. Autumn says, nothing boosts my mood like a fatty ribeye. Exactly, Autumn. Yes. All right, so let's come in here. I wanted to come out on my front porch. Hope I don't lose the signal out here. But I keep bags of ice. Yes, ice, baby, in my front cooler out here. And you might be like, well, what do you do with those bags of ice? So I do ice baths. I know. You might be like, Jimmy, you cray. And I am a little cray, but I want to show you what I do. I come into my bathroom, and forgive it, I am a man. I am living by myself. It's a male bathroom, so it is what it is. But I will put water into this bathtub, clog it up, put cold water in there. And if you're not already doing like cold showers, just like at the end of your shower after you get done washing yourself, and then just being in the cold for about 5 to 10 minutes, if you're not already doing that practice, start. It is so powerful for mobilizing brown fat and all the things that you've heard about. But from a mood standpoint, from a dealing with anxiety standpoint, if you're having a tough time, sometimes just getting under running cold water can just change your mood. It's amazing how that works. And so I would even say oscillate between the warm and the cool, and the warm and the cool. I went to Italy a couple of years ago with Maria Emmerich and her group, and they took us to a spa there in Italy. And there's this one whole room where all it was you go from a warm shower to a cold shower to a warm shower to a cold shower. And it was just amazing putting that body in the back and forthness. I think it does what's called a hormetic stress. So it stresses your body, but in a good way to turn on various things. I think it helps to build muscle, but it relaxes you. Oh my gosh, Brandy says she loves her cold showers. So Brandy, I upped my game. I love the cold showers too, but I will fill up my tub full of cold water. And then those bags of ice, 20-pound bags of ice, once I kind of get used to that cold water, I dump a 20-pound bag of ice into here. And I'm a big boy, so that's kind of hard to get in that tub. I need a bigger place to do these cold plunges, but it's the best I can do. And so then that gets pretty intense. And not only do I just have my body in there, I try to get to the vagus nerve. And so if you've never gotten your vagus nerve below water, like an ice bath, you should try that. And I will get in there. It's freezing for about 60 seconds. So if you can just calmly breathe, get through it that first 60 seconds, you're going to find something very interesting happen. Within about 3 to 5 minutes, your body's actually going to be warm and even hot sometimes. And what that is the thermogenesis of your body starting to react to the body going cold. It doesn't want you to go into hypothermia, and so it starts raising the temperature in your body. But you're getting the benefits of the body cooling down, which lowers inflammation and actually chills you out. And yes, Redeemed Carnivore, trying the nerve today. Yes, please do it. I promise you, you're gonna hate it for the first minute, maybe 2 minutes, first time you ever do it. But once you're in there, people are like, how long do you do it? You don't stay in long. I'm like, no, once you're in there and once you get past that initial, it's almost like keto. Once you get past kind of the keto flu, you want to keep doing it, right? And so for me, getting out of an ice bath is the hardest part, not getting in. Yes, it's shocking getting in, but getting out when you're so relaxed, and especially if you're anxious, which is what we're talking about here today, you want that. That's just such good practices. So that's another one. I will tell you, I also love a nice, relaxing salt bath. So if you've never taken a salt bath, I have my farmer's market. There's this really nice black-owned business and they make these beautiful little bath salt bombs. So I do make it warm water for this, hot water, and I put the salt bomb in there. This one I think is strawberry. And so she home makes it and puts the little pieces of strawberry and all that. And it just does this little effervescent kind of, and I'll get in there and I'll soak in a bomb bath of salt. And oh my gosh, it's so amazing, guys. And if you've never done, and yeah, I know I'm a dude, but dudes can do this too. Like I'm trying to remove the stigma that's associated with some of these practices like this. Oh, they're girly. Okay, well, get over it. You can have a girly bath and be manly relaxed, I promise you. So, all right. And for those of you that have never seen, that is where I do all of my recordings of my podcasts and all the everything. And then there's my studio lights. See, I'm showing you a tour of the whole place today. But guys, that is some of the practices. That's not everything I do, but I think that's a good amount of the things that I do often enough that I think if you wanted to try one or more of these things, hopefully you got an education here today watching this on the Instagram Live, or if you're listening on the Living La Vida Low Carb Show or watching it on YouTube, IGTV, wherever you're watching this or listening to it. Hopefully this was good information. A lot of us are still dealing with the after effects of the last year and a half. Let's just be honest, it sucked the last year and a half. And for a lot of us, we were dealing with other things long before the pandemic came along. And so hopefully if you're not doing regular practices of things that you can do to relax yourself when you're anxious, I will leave you with one final one. And that's meditation. So if you don't regularly meditate and do positive affirmations, try it. Try it. I know some people, oh, it's so woo-woo, meditation. Okay, if you've never done it before, anything's going to feel odd. Feeling odd doesn't mean it's wrong. Give it a try. See how you do. And you may not respond well to it, but you could just close your eyes, do some of that 4-7-8 breathing we talked about earlier, but just like sit still in your thoughts. And at first you'll have all the little racing of the thoughts going on while you're trying to do that. But then what will happen is as you focus on your breath and you focus on relaxing, you will get into a pretty zen state. And it's pretty fascinating. And sometimes there's guided meditations you can do. There's little apps, there's little YouTube videos. Look those things up, you guys, because they're all wonderful ways to kind of put your body into a great, and your mind especially, into a great place. So I hope this was informative. Thank you guys so much for watching here today. I really hope this was helpful to you. Let me know if you try any of these things. Drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Living Low Carb Man. Would love to hear from you and see how they worked for you.
Get inspiration from the Living La Vida Low Carb Show. Hey, the livinglowcarbshow.com. Woo!